unbeaten Navy versus the number one nation's scoring offense in Denton, Texas. Something's got to give at noon. I'm Nathan Johnson alongside Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. Brad, Horvath, Heisman surge versus North Texas video game passing numbers. That's the storyline for this one. Who would have thought 7-1 North Texas versus 7-0 Navy? And listen, I saw a stat line the other day with all of the group of 5 schools in contention to make the playoff. Navy not even listed.
That's crazy.
Complete disrespect for our service academy and what they've been able to do. And, you know, we can make light of it, but it's the truth. Like, how do you not put them in there?
Yeah.
If you have Navy in the playoff, think about the promotion and the branding you're bringing.
Cool. That'd be cool for sure. Yeah.
We'll talk about Navy's schedule ahead, but focusing on this game, right? Records, polls, you know, Navy 7-0, 5-0 in the AAC. They hold the table at this point in the American Athletic Conference. North Texas only lost to USF. We covered that game.
Yeah.
And listen, North Texas held their own for a little while. They've got a very good quarterback in Mestemaker. Curious to see how this one plays out at home. You got to think the fans are going to come out swinging again for this one as well. The stakes for this game: American Athletic Conference race plus college football playoff dark horse chatter for Navy. North Texas path after a USF stumble. This one's going to be on ESPN2 at 12 p.m. on Saturday. Let's take a look at the offense of North Texas and offense of Navy. North Texas coming in at 493 yards per game, ranked 6th in the nation. They've got a very good offense. 46.1 points per game, ranked 1st in the nation. Passing over 300 yards per game, ranked 6th. Then you look at Navy, not far off. 477 yards per game, ranked 12th. And they're rushing for 318 yards. Granted, triple option. Right. It's Navy. They're going to run the ball, but you still got to be efficient in it. And that discipline and having a quarterback like Horvath comes into play. 37.3 points per game, ranked 16th in the nation. Brad, does it feel more like a top grind or another Denton shootout?
I think the story is, can North Texas get stops? We know this is a very, very tough offense to defend.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be disciplined. You got to stay in your rush lanes. You know, the big thing is stop the fullback dive, but then, you know, Horvath can just exploit you. And then, you know, can Navy, do they have the athletes? Do they have the guys to keep up with this unbelievable North Texas passing attack? To me, it's going to come down to which defense is better. Sure. But I think I think really the key is for Navy is they want to grind it out. To me, if they had the ball for 35 minutes plus, they're going to be really, that's going to be really, really tough for North Texas to get a win.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about North Texas offense versus Navy's defense. Drew Mestemaker, quarterback at North Texas, has shined tremendously. Over 2,400 yards passing on the season, 21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 67.7% completion. Had 608 yards just last week.
Crazy.
4 touchdowns in last week's win. I don't know how you put up those kind of numbers in the Heisman race. I mean, if we're going to look at the Heisman trophy as a stat trophy, which I believe most years it has been, I really don't understand how this guy's not in the conversation other than him playing at North Texas. Yeah. You put this same quarterback on LSU, Georgia, any of those schools, he's ranked first by a mile for the Heisman race. So I don't get that. Skill trio at the wide receiver position: Wyatt Young, Cameron Dorner, Caleb Hawkins, to name a few. Over, I think, 1,600 yards combined between the three, and over 18 touchdowns combined between the three. They've got a receiving trio. It's just stupid the amount of numbers they're putting up. Then you look at Navy's defense profile, giving up 373 yards per game, ranked 76. Their passing defense, 256, and their scoring defense only allowing 23 points per game, ranked top 60 in the nation. Money downs in red zone, though. UNT third down D struggles. They don't apply here. This is their O. Elite pace and explosives, right? Navy's red zone defense versus North Texas red zone offense. UNT overall number 1 in the nation. Navy's Landon Robinson versus T's pass pro. That's going to be the key to this one. If Navy plays too high to cap explosives, I know we're going into what ifs here, Brad, versus North Texas pass pro. Does UNT happily throw underneath and still hit 40?
I absolutely think so. And I'm interested to see how how Navy, I'm interested to see what scheme they come out. I could really see Navy doing a lot of let's bend but don't break. Let's make them earn every yard. Let's just don't give up the big play to you mentioned all those big play receivers that the Mean Green has. I think that, Nate, I think that's exactly what it's going to be. Navy Navy wants to grind it out. They want to keep the ball, and then on the flip side, they want to keep everything in front of them. And I think that's going to come down to Mestemaker. He's just going to have to take some chances, take some shots downfield. Sure. I like this offense a lot. And once again, I go back to, I think you're going to, this is going to be a pace that Navy may not be used to. But I also think, too, I just wonder, do they have the athletes to keep up with that receiving core? That, to me, is a really, really big story.
One, I have the same question mark for North Texas's defense in contrast, the style contrast of Navy's offense versus North Texas defense. Say what you want about North Texas this year. They played tremendous. But this is a totally different style of football that they have not faced this year. There's no doubt about it. Blake Horvath, who seems to be a quarterback at Navy for 5+ years now. I think he's a senior, I believe so. Redshirt senior or something like that, 5th-year senior. He only has 1,000 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, 3 picks, but his rushing ability is the difference in this one. 814 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns, 5 straight 100-yard rushing games for this dual threat stress, Brad, and their run game depth. 318 yards rushing per game, first in FBS, which, again, triple option, I'd hope so. Explosives from Eli H, Brandon Chapman, and Texas variants, And then you look at the North Texas defense. They played decent, only giving up 361 yards per game, ranked 62nd, 190 yards rushing, ranked 120th. Gap/edge integrity, huge for this North Texas defense as they take on a very disciplined triple option offense. Situational edges, Brad. Navy third down offense, 53%, ranked 4th in the nation versus North Texas third down defensive issues, 42% allowed, 106 in the nation. And that doesn't even take into account a disciplined triple option team. So it's going to be very important for this North Texas defense to come out and get that stop early on because, listen, Navy's going to try to drive down the field. They're going to put up 12, 15-minute drives. This is going to be a very boring offense to watch. But at the same time, it's so impressive because you just don't see this type of discipline and efficiency and patience very often in college football. Navy's red zone offense, 90%. I don't know how you would say efficiency. Thank you. 32nd in the nation versus North Texas red zone defense efficiency, 91% allowed. Not great. Keys, force third down and long, set edges and versus the quarterback keep. They got to keep Horvath contained because if they don't keep Horvath contained, Navy will make you pay.
Absolutely.
So, Brad, my question to you is this a Hawkins-Horvath duel or does Navy's offensive line win it in the 4th and shorts?
The key for North Texas, they've got to be successful on first down. You got to get Navy behind the chains on first down. And to me, that means got to keep them to 3 yards and less. That's a tall task. That's tough to do. This is a run-first offense. We know they're putting up over 300 yards. That secondary has got to have, for that matter, the secondary and the linebackers, great eye discipline because the second that you start getting sucked up with that running game, they're going to hit you over the top for a big play action pass. And so very, very tough offense to stop. That scares me with those North Texas rush numbers, and that's going up against traditional, conventional offenses. Now you throw in the triple option. That's a tall order. It's not going to be easy for the Mean Green.
I think you would agree with me on this one, Brad, and that's the fact that North Texas has to win this toss, and they've got to put Mestemaker out there first. You've got to score quickly because if you put Navy in these, behind, if you put Navy in these positions where they're behind and score, you're going to force them to throw it because they can't run it if they're down 14.
And that's such a good point, is that you've got to take Navy out of their comfort zone. You hit the nail on the head. If you can get up on Navy, if you can force them to throw the football, this is not an offense that's built to come from behind. It's, they either want to be tied or play with the lead.
They want to control.
Exactly. They want to control it. But if you can get them in a hole, and that means, I agree with you, if you win the toss, go down and score, but also forcing turnovers, field position battle, North Texas, that's to me that's the key to the game.
You talk about turnovers. North Texas right here, +8, ranked ninth nationally for turnovers. So if they can force Navy to turn the ball over, listen, Navy can easily make mistakes in the pitch game. If you make Horvath second guess himself with the pitch or with the read, chances are you could create a fumble very quickly.
Absolutely.
We saw them put up a few turnovers against USF and put them in some shady situations. Ultimately, USF, outdueled them in the end. But that you've got to create turnovers and you've got to get ahead of the sticks early, because if Navy comes out and wins the toss, look out. They could eat up the whole first quarter on that one drive. And that's another thing we talk about right here. Tempo, Brad. Navy, top heavy. 31 minutes of possession per game, ranked 24th in the nation. North Texas, 29 minutes, ranked 80th in the nation. If Navy hits 33 plus minutes, it's their script, and there's no doubt about it. Explosive. Navy has 60 plus plays this year, 60 plus yard plays this year. North Texas lives on shot plays with Young and Dorner on the offensive side. Field positions and special teams. North Texas has blocked 2 punts. They ranked 6th nationally. Navy rarely gets tackled for loss, 2.7 times per game. So you're going to have to really get something going there. And then the history bit. Obviously, everyone wants to know about the history. Navy won 27-24 in 2023. 2007 was 74-62 in Denton. Track meet precedent. Brad, first 15 plays, who scripts it better? Eric Morris's tempo for North Texas or Newberry's option wrinkles?
I think it's got to be Eric Morris. I don't know how much that Navy's going to really script, because they are what they are. They're going to run the football. They're going to get downhill. They're going to let Blake Horvath do his thing. I think North Texas, they want to jump out early, give that defense a lead, and play with the lead. So I think the script for North Texas coming out is very, very important.
Yeah, going to be interested to see how this one plays out. North Texas heads into Denton, Texas on Saturday, favored by 5.5 points. You got to give the edge to Mestemaker in that offense early in this one, and home field advantage. ESPN 2, 12 o'clock kickoff. It's early, but the fans are going to be ready for this one, Brad. Who do you have coming out on top in this big-time American Athletic Conference playoff contention matchup?
I'm gonna go with the Navy Midshipmen.
Wow.
I really, really like North Texas. I really like Eric Morris as a head coach. To me, Nate, he's a guy that should be getting some traction in the coaching carousel, and we may see that. But ultimately, I think North Texas' inability to stop the run. I think Blake Horvath has a big day. I think really what you see is I think there's going to be a couple of long pass plays from Navy. It may only be, 2. Blake Horvath may only throw 7 passes, but I think he's going to hit on a couple long ones, and that's the difference. Give me the Midshipmen in a very, very close one.
Wow, big matchup in the American Athletic Conference. Both of these teams come in with high expectations to finish out the year strong, not only to win the AAC, but maybe get in the playoff talk as well. Listen, Brad, I'm going to take North Texas. I think they bounce back in this one. This is their second biggest test at home. Navy's got a tough schedule ahead of them. They've got to play Memphis, Notre Dame, USF. They have so much to look ahead to. I wonder if that plays a factor in this one. I know it's always like this week mentality, but when you've got that big of a schedule ahead of you, I think it plays in the minds of the Navy a little bit. Give me North Texas to slip in and win this one and cover the spread. I got them winning. Let's go 48-41. I think it's
shootout.
It's a shootout. I think it's a very high scoring game, because I do agree with you. I think Navy's going to get some shots down the field, but how is Navy going to be able to cover those receivers and Mestemaker? So I think in the end, you just got to give the edge to the better quarterback play, and that's Mestemaker. I think he has another career high day for the Mean Green in this one, and that's the storyline at the end of this one. Give me Mestemaker and the Mean Green of North Texas to win one at home. Drop your score predictions down below. Let us know what you think about this AAC matchup. Do you think Navy and North Texas are kind of getting screwed in playoff talks? We'll see you Friday night for Break the Huddle After Dark, as we will give live commentary of the North Carolina versus Syracuse game Halloween night. We'll be dressed up. You won't want to miss out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate all the support. We're closing in on 1,000 subs. We really appreciate it. We'll see you Friday night. It's time to Break the Huddle.